Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die. Written by Mary Elizabeth Fry in 1932, this poem has been recited in countless funerals as a source of comfort. Throughout my adolescence, I questioned the prospect of natural elements having lives. As a child, I believed stars to be my friends, like they really did just appear because I was lonely. I thought trees in isolated areas were lonely and felt abandoned, so they grew moss on themselves in attempts to ease the loneliness. I wondered why some elements were seen as shrines and worshipped, while the others were tossed around like garbage. As a girl, I wondered why all warnings were about being unwanted and never about being inhumane. I wondered if being alive included controlling the amplitude of your joy so that your laugh doesn't sound monstrous. Then, as a teen, I adapted grief. I wondered how once that was everything simply turns to nothing on a random Thursday afternoon. Throughout my life, I was told about the potential I possessed and what wonders I'd do in life. And I never really lived up to the potential, in part because I was too afraid and also because I never really liked the idea of potential. Potential is what you see when you look at a coffin and feel grief over who they could have been and not who they were. Potential is what you feel when you look at Hitler's paintings and think of who he could have been. But I'm not dead yet. I do not have potential. When I looked at the people I loved for the very last time, I did not see what could have been. I saw what once was and what impact somebody's life truly makes, the ripple effect, the legacy. But then came the question, what now? At first, I believed what I heard. Heaven, hell, torture, punishment, paradise. It seemed conflicting. I wondered why a soul, something much greater than a human, would be punished for decisions corrupted by the mortal world. Why the Almighty would put their children through more suffering for the decisions they made whilst they were suffering. And ultimately I realized, I don't know. I'm not dead yet. All I can do is provide myself with the comfort of assumptions, and oh boy am I good at assuming. Ultimately though, beyond my beliefs, I do think life as a human is in fact rare, which does seem unfair to those who passed before even getting the chance to live. To be honest, I find the idea of death itself quite ridiculous. A person is an incredibly complex being with a web of thoughts and emotions that take a lifetime to process and comprehend. The fact that you can make all of these emotions and love and knowledge simply cease to exist by a physical force baffles me. Ultimately, I believe that we become fragments of what we once loved. My grandmother hasn't been by my side in 6 years. We haven't had a good gossip by the stairs. Neither have I been able to hear bubble wrap being popped because it was a passion of hers. But just because her body caved in does not mean so did her soul. She still exists. She exists in the half-empty hair oil bottle by the nightstand, in the money bundled up in a handkerchief. Her scent lingers every time someone opens a bottle of brandy when it gets dark. Sure, she once existed in a form I could interact with, but now she exists in the places and things that once held her. She exists in the words I write and the thoughts that are formulated in my mind. I share her life in fragments of stories and memories in myself, and she shared mine by being impossible to forget. So maybe we all are just the quirks that we adapt, the places that we love, the life that we lived, and maybe, if we truly are fortunate enough, we get to experience all this all over again. Coming back to the poem, the thing that I love the most about literature is also what a lot of people hate the most about it. It's the fact that every person has a different interpretation of it. I do agree that people interpret things so that it aligns with what they believe in, and I'd be lying if I said that I do not have my own biases. However, for the skeptics out there, this is my interpretation for you. Even though you may believe that life after death does not exist, and that we are merely matter and matter gets recycled, however, you have to agree that a person does not end when their physical body ceases to exist. It ends when the world stops thinking about them. As I said earlier, a person is a very complex being with thoughts, emotions, knowledge, and relations one accumulates within a lifetime. I believe that someone's death can be as impactful as someone's life. If death truly were the end, it wouldn't be so easy. This world is a harsh place. People don't forget so quickly. People are immortalized by either their life or their death. We still think about Anne Frank reading her journal. We still think about Vincent van Gogh looking at his paintings. Shakespeare is still beloved. Franz Kafka, once labeled a nobody, becoming one of the greatest legends in the history of literature after his death. At last, I would like to conclude by saying, we are mere human beings. We all will be forgotten one day. Perhaps even Cleopatra and Genghis Khan will be irrelevant someday. People say that death is an act of God. It cannot be controlled. I would like to argue by saying that what you do today and throughout your lifetime will decide when you truly are gonna die. Not every person is extraordinary, but everyone has the potential to be.